We're back live from Desert Breeze Park. March 1st Thunder for all the marbles, folks. Live stream sponsored by Napleton Chrysler Dodge Jeep. March has won the toss, and they're going to start off the game as the home team. So it should be a fun ball game. Thunder working their way back. Just won a thriller in the bottom of the seventh against the Syndicate team. So we got an all-Chicago final going on here. We'll give you the lineup for Thunder. Leading off, playing center field, this guy, Nico Garcia. Playing shortstop, Zach Solario. Left field, Tom Serino. Playing third base, Anthony Staley. Playing second base, Bobby Durst. Short center, Chris Miller, who was also the MVP at the 50 and over SSA National Championship Tournament. Made like 2 outs all weekend. Playing right field, Jason Rojas. First base, Brad Moriarty got a big hit late in that game against the Syndicate. Robbie Siganowski catching and Sean Keneally pitching. So here we go. We'll set the defense for March as Nico Garcia steps in to lead off this championship game. Thunder needs to double dip here in order to be champs. Nico got a big hit leading off the bottom of the seventh against Syndicate. He got forced out, but they won the game. And there's a line drive off of Jeff Hernandez's glove, and he's going to lead off this game with a hit. So the March defense across the infield, third to first, Anthony Avila playing third. Shortstop, Nate Mercado. Short center, Tony Lepore. Second baseman, Danny Villarreal. First baseman, Israel Sanchez. Outfield from left to right, Ryan Russ, Alex Smith, and Billy Smith in left. Pitcher, Jeff Hernandez. Catcher, Scotty Erdecki. So here's the shortstop, Zach Solario. Ended up scoring what turned out to be the winning run on a double tag on a long fly ball by Anthony Staley against Syndicate. And there's a little flare, and it drops in. It drops in. Nico Garcia is going to get all the way to third. So Zach Solario hit a ball in no man's land. It dropped for a hit. And we talked about how much ground Danny Villarreal covers. He was a good 45 feet, maybe 50, out into the outfield. Billy Smith, still a little bit gimpy, couldn't quite get there, and the ball dropped in. And, of course, we know that Nico can run, and the ball took a high bounce. That's all he needed. And here's Torino. He had a humpback to set up a first and second situation before Staley drilled one. There's a ground ball. Little bobble to throw to first. And the umpire called him out at first, 2 outs. But on the double play, a run scores. And Thunder picks up the first lead of the ball game at 1-0 here. Again, that's the second time we've seen an infielder on March kind of struggle, but great turn by Tony Lepore. He's a shortstop normally. And Staley just throws a nice ball out there, and nice running catch by Billy Smith. So Thunder draws blood first. They take a 1-0 lead on March. So 1-0 here, first championship game. There you see Fritz Zimmerman coming over. He was coaching third, or it's going to coach. Huh?
I know my handwriting's horrible. Anthony Stacy.
Stacy, not Staley? So you must have some fans watching the live stream. So it is Stacy at third base, not Staley, folks. I'm going to write that C a little better. And there's Fritz Zimmerman, the mastermind behind the March team. That drew a little chuckle. Attaboy. I'd like to see you smile, Fritz. Of course, Fritz, tremendous for softball. He does a lot behind the scenes, helped the Hall of Fame quite a bit. So if you're ever out by Forest Park watching a league game or a tournament game and the building's open, especially during the no-glove tournament that they run, get out there and check the building out. Most people, when they get in there, they're just very impressed with it. So leading off is going to be Nate Mercado, followed by Scott Herdecki, and then Alex Smith. Angelo Alicia has a scratch as his back locked up a little bit. And Nate swings in a little flare, and the second baseman, Bobby Durst, goes out there and makes a nice easy catch. And here comes Scott Herdecki. He's been having a monster weekend. I feel bad for Fritz when he's got to tell us who the MVP is. He's got about 10 guys playing lights out. That drew another chuckle. And here's Scotty Herdecki, went out bottom of the first. Thunder leading 1-0. Again, we've seen some double plays turned in this tournament. And Herdecki hits a long ball. Nico on his horse, can't get there. And that ball is going to stay in the park. Herdecki is going to tie the game up with a long home run in the left center field. Folks, that ball just kept on carrying. Nico very fast, couldn't get to it. 1-1 ball game. We've been seeing March. They've been playing tight defense, and they seem to have a big inning every ball game where they just hit as a group. And they've been putting a lot of pressure on teams. So here's Alex Smith. Good to see him healthy again. Talked to Alex, and he said him and his brother were real happy. Off of Keneally, he can't make the play. And Stacy, that's not Stacy, that's Solario, was going to barehand it and try to make the play, but he ran into the pitcher. So here's Billy Smith. Alex was telling us that it just feels good to be out playing softball and being healthy again. And Billy's still a little hobbling, but got the okay to play, and it's going to take him a little while to kind of get rid of the giddy-up he's got in his hitch. He had a weird injury where his patella slid down and chipped that little knob or bone you got at the top of your shin. And he swings and he hits a missile toward the gap. Little fumble. Alex is going to score. Stand-up double, 2-1 March. Again, I think we're seeing too many flat pitches to some of these March guys. And I think Alex and Billy are perfect examples. You want to get a little more height when you pitch to both of those guys. Same thing here with Mike Manzella. You flatten out to some of these guys, and they're just going to punish you. They do have some cut and push guys like Nate Mercado, Danny Villarria, Anthony Avila, Ryan. You know, those are the guys you can throw a little flatter to. But some of these the big, strong, as I call them, road graders in the middle of their lineup, you don't really want to flatten out too much. We do got Mike Zizzi doing home plate here. So we have a Chicago umpire, 2 Chicago teams. So, again, just a real picturesque park here in the daytime. And at night, it's just beautiful with the trees outside the fence. You can actually see the strip. There's a hot shot over to Durst, and he gets him by a half a step. So I like what Mike Zizzi did there. Originally, Nate Mercado, who came in to courtesy run, I believe, for Alex Smith, took the turn. Mike did not call timeout until basically Nate went back to third base. A lot of umpires will call that timeout a little too soon when the runner's still active. So March has come out here after falling behind. Scotty Herdecki hit a bomb to tie the game. And there's Israel Sanchez, base hit. And I believe it's 2-1 March now. And here comes Danny Villarria. Two outs here in the ball game. I may be off in my score, folks, and Villarreal hits a fly ball. That'll be the third out of the inning. We'll confirm the score. What'd they get, Frank? 3. They got 3, 3-1. So March, after falling behind, doing the same thing they did to the Syndicate in the winner's bracket game, they came right back and took the lead. And they have a 3-1 lead heading into the top of the second. So again, if you're Thunder, what we have not seen teams do is hit with this March team in this tournament, and then March leaks out a little bit and they start free swinging, and all of a sudden they're just a bear to try to stay with. And it looks like Bobby Durst, the second baseman, going to lead off here in the top of the second. Of course, Bobby, longtime player in Chicago, still very active, plays for Thunder, and also plays a lot of 50 and over. And he'll be followed by Chris Miller and Jason Rojas. Anybody gets on, Brad Moriarty. I got a little turned around. I don't know what Frank is talking about. He was pointing at a lineup card. I wonder if maybe March maybe hit out of order, because I know I was having trouble keeping the score there. And Bobby Durst slaps it on the ground. Nate Mercado, little bobble, not too much, and he makes the play. A little pitch and catch there. So again, March has been just rock solid defensively. We told you they got good defensive players at every position. And here's Chris Miller. 3-1, first championship game here. 5th annual SSA Las Vegas Getaway Tournament. Live stream sponsored by Napleton Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram and River Oaks. Of course, your announcers, Gio. And we are live from Desert Breeze. I saw George Bliss trying to steal my tagline. I'll have to have a little conversation with him. So Chris Miller trying to get on base here, trying to start something, and he slaps a ball. Anthony Avila beats it. Izzy can't dig it out, but Chris Miller, digging all the way down the line, beats it out anyway. Can't teach speed, Chris. So got a little chuckle.
That was a miscut right there.
He says it was a miscut. Let's bring up Jason Rojas. Jason, a couple of big hits in that Syndicate game. Of course, you might remember Jason. He was a long-time Impact guy. It's good to see him out and healthy. He's got kind of a tricky shoulder. He has a tendency about once every year and a half or so to have it pop out. And there's a hard ground ball up the middle, so Jason stays hot. Chris Miller's going to jog into third, and we got first and third here with one out.
Hey, coach at 1.
Here comes Brad Moriarty. Brad got a big 2-out hit that put Thunder up 9-7 in the bottom of the 6th. Syndicate tied that game in the top of the 7th at 9. And in the bottom of the 7th, Thunder, on a long drive by Stacy, had a double tag. Looked like if the catcher would have handled the throw, he might have been out at the plate and they might have still been playing. But the ball bounced away as the runner got there at the same time. You can look at the clip. So here's Brad Moriarty. No strangers here, as both of these teams play each other many times during the course of a summer, and the players are all known to each other. So I don't know if we've had an all-Chicago final in this tournament before. took Chicago until the third year of the event to have somebody win it. As we had the Psychopaths. And Brad hits a ball and he spanks it through 3-2. And Jason thinks better of it as Billy Smith came flying in. So Brad Moriarty, nice and polite, hard single up the middle. And Bobby Durst's going to courtesy run. 3-2 ball game. First and second, still one out. And here's Robbie Siganowski, the catcher.
All right, Robbie, you need your rub.
So Thunder grinding a little bit. They got some older guys on their team. They did pick up some youth for the weekend and Garcia. And there's a line drive base hit by Siganowski. So Robbie, and now the guy, Jason Rojas, a great Durst is going to go to third, and Siganowski is going to go to second. 3-3 ball game. So you see, Israel wanted Billy Smith to throw the ball to the cutoff guy.
Stay hot, Sean.
And Sean Keneally, the pitcher, has got a second and third one-out situation here as March has tied the game at 3. So this is what we talk about. You want to answer the bell when you fall behind. And right now, Thunder's ringing it.
One out, Robbie. Miners through.
So again, Danny Villarreal was playing up the middle, and Robbie Siganowski just pulled a line drive. And Keneally goes to second. Villarreal make the play. Meanwhile, Thunder has reclaimed the lead at 4-3. So 2 outs now, and Nico Garcia led the game off with an infield hit is up. And Nico will put a little pressure on you because he can run. So if you're an infielder, you got to be cognizant of that. Again, we do have this green stuff. And again, you see there's a lot of brown, but there is AstroTurf under that. And so the ball will get to you a little quicker if you're a defender. But if he chops a 2 or a 3 hopper, it's going to be an awful tough play for anybody playing. Whoa! Whoa! And the lights just went out on our diamond. Probably what happened here is we were originally going to be on that field 4, and they might have had a timer set up. So I'm sure Ronnie Matrisciano is going to try to get a hold of whoever runs the park to see if we can get the lights turned back on. Thunder has just taken a 4-3 lead. And they got a guy at third with 2 outs. So we'll try to figure out what's going on. As the lights just went out here in Desert Breeze. Again, the reason we left the other field was because one of the batter's boxes wasn't good. And I don't know what's going to happen here is Ronnie Matrisciano and Pat Caputo. So they're going to move over to the other diamond. So we're going to be moving over, folks. So just a weird thing. And Ron, do you need the pitching rubber and the mat? So, okay. So we're going to relocate, folks. This stuff happens. Of course, we're in Vegas, so I think somebody was not anticipating at 8 o'clock that we would need this diamond. Because, again, the other diamond, both teams have agreed to play on the other field, even though the batter's box is, you know, I mean, it wasn't bad. It was just that it got dug out a little bit. So there is light, and we'll be resuming very shortly. So we're just going to let the teams reload. And Pat Caputo is going to come out with a brush and try to take a look at it.
Game on.
Somebody had a comment there about the audio. So again, there will be a runner on third with 2 outs. Of course, Pat Caputo from Bellwood long-time grounds person out there handling the broom. Caputo's in heaven, Ronnie. He gets to use a broom. Of course, Pat tireless when it comes to the SSA. So, never a dull moment with the SSA, folks. So, runner on third with 2 outs, 4-3 Thunder when we resume. So that was kind of odd. The pitch was in the air when the lights went out. So, of course, no pitch. And we're going to reset. Batter's box isn't really that bad, but, you know, it's just a situation where, you know, normally you don't, you know, have to worry about it. They do play a lot of 12-inch out here, and a lot of those guys use the real hard molded cleats, and they, you know, think they have some baseball out here. So as a result, sometimes these batters boxes get dug out. And what you see a lot in Arizona and out here is they try to put some type of a mat in the batter's box to prevent that. But through wear and tear, a lot of that mat gets chewed up. So Thunder, certainly not afraid, sticking their nose in it. And Nico Garcia was at bat. 4-3 Thunder as they've pushed 3 across. And a 5th run standing at third base with 2 outs. So we're pretty much ready to go. And again, you can see how attractive this park is. And when you look down there and you start looking toward the strip, you can see the tops of a few of the hotels and things. And just a gorgeous park. And that's where they got the skate park out there past those trees where you see that little gazebo. And you can tell it's just like I said, just a beautiful, beautiful little complex. Those trees at night against the back sky, just beautiful. So Nico Garcia is going to try to extend this lead as we're sitting here in a 4-3 ball game. And we're only in the top of the second, folks, and we've already had a lot of action. To be honest with you, this has got the makings of a potential slugfest. And now, and folks, I know you're trying to help me out, but do not text me during a live stream because it pauses the video and it causes it to stutter a little bit. So if you're listening and you think there's an issue, write a comment and I'll try to catch it. But I don't know what's going on with your phone, Mickey, but Al Mag said the audio is fine. Maybe whatever caused the lights to go out was affecting it. Who knows? I'm no electrician. But I did stay at a Holiday Inn Express. Actually, I didn't. I stayed at the Paris last night. But so Pat Caputo, who's always meticulous, just keeps working it. So Nico Garcia, after about a 10-minute delay, is going to try to push this lead out here. 4-3, Thunder has matched the 3 runs that March got in the bottom of the first to reclaim the lead here. And Nico swings in. Tony Lepore makes a great catch. What a read there. As Tony on a dead sprint reached up and caught the ball. And again, that hit him in the web. And, you know, the glove helps you. We've seen a lot of guys take the ball in the palm. But a great play there by Tony Lepore to put a Band-Aid on that inning. So Thunder in the top of the second pushes 3 across, and they take a 4-3 lead. So very nice job there by Thunder to answer the bell and to reclaim the lead by a run. So that's where the glove really comes into play. You'll see those kind of plays. They're exciting for the people watching the games. Obviously, without a glove, that would have been a very difficult play to make. I have seen guys one-hand line drives, but Tony caught that fully extended in the webbing, so I don't think without a mitt he would have even got a hand on it. But a great read by Tony Lepore. Again, he's normally a shortstop. He's playing short center, and he's doing a good job. He's really reading the ball well. We saw him in Marshalltown, got picked up by flashback, and he played short center, which is not his normal position. He did a great job there. Pretty sure that Jeff Hernandez had something to do with him coming here, as I believe what I've heard is that Tony's going to be heading over to flashback next year. And here's Anthony Avila, will be followed by Ryan Russ and then Jeff Hernandez. And there's a strike in the well. You're all right, Fritz. Again, we talked now. March has got a few guys you don't want to flatten out to. Anthony's actually one of the guys that can hit the high ball or the flat ball. He tends to try to walk the dog down the right field line when he gets a flat pitch, and he will cut the high pitch. And Keneally catches him watching. Strike three. And here comes Ryan Russ. So we've seen Mike Zizzi through the years. He's not afraid to ring you up. We've had some umpires that they feel guilty, but if it's a strike, it's a strike. And here's Ryan Russ. Yeah, Mick, sometimes if you see something like that, if you shut the app down and relaunch it, it takes care of it. And I know you're always looking at funny videos and things on your phone, so sometimes that does affect things, but I'm glad the sound's okay for you now. And Ryan Russ tries to muscle up, but Storino runs over and again with the mitt reaches up and he makes the catch. So Ryan Russ leaned on that pretty good, got a little flat inside pitch, tried to turn and burn, but a better play by Storino. Here comes Jeff Hernandez now, 2 outs, nobody on. Again, we talk sometimes that when you come clean through the winner's bracket and you sit a little bit, sometimes it takes you another inning or two to kind of gear it back up. And this Thunder team's been playing back-to-back. And so sometimes you run into a situation where the team out of the loser's bracket has a little adrenaline going. Little pop-up. Storino, long run, makes the catch. So we're going to head now to the top of the third inning, 4-3 Thunder. And this will be an interesting inning. The reason why I say that, this third inning, is Thunder's got 2-3-4 coming up. And March will have the top of their lineup in the third inning. So it's basically top versus top now. And I don't mean Ray tops. Of course, Ray, one of the coaches for the March team. Ray's got a construction company. If you need any work done, go ahead and see Anthony, a little aggravated with the strikeout. Tried to fire the ball off and threw it about 6 feet over Israel's head. So we head to the top of the third, top to top. 2-3-4 for Thunder. March in the bottom half will have their top. 4-3, and here's the shortstop, Zach Solario. And I like this kid. He's a good-looking young player. See Anthony Olivo checking in. Anthony, I got your little package there from the White Sox. Thank you very much. Of course, they ran the first ever Chicago White Sox 16-inch softball classic. We were out there live streaming. Great job by the White Sox and Anthony and his staff. There's a ground ball, little up the line, but Israel danced with it, made the catch. Ray Jr. watching. Nice. So here comes Storino, one out here. top of the third. And again, we talked about the importance of hitting and keeping the pressure on this March team, and that's an easy pitch and catch.
Anthony, let's go. 2-out hit.
2 outs, and here's Stacy. Anthony Stacy. It's amazing when we do a live stream how many guys that are involved in the game sometimes click the game on and they watch. And, of course, a lot of times their fans will turn the game on. There's a little ground ball to second. 1-2-3 as Stacy grounds out to Villarreal. So March is going to come with the top of their lineup. Nate Mercado, Scott Herdecki. Actually, they'll have Tony Lepore leading off. So they're going to have basically 11-1-2. I misspoke. As originally Angelo Alicia was in the lineup, they scratched him. And they were going to hit 12. So Tony's in a part of the lineup card that is usually where the subs would go. So we head to the bottom of the third, 4-3 Thunder. Lepore, Mercado, and Herdecki scheduled up. Anybody gets on, we'll see Alex Smith, who's been tearing the cover off the ball. And Scotty Herdecki's been launching some bombs out here. So it should be an interesting bottom of the third, as we're going to be right in the teeth of the order. And again, they've been hitting Tony at the bottom of their lineup. And it's interesting because when he was with Players Inc., Tony was always the middle of a lineup guy. So kind of an interesting twist on how they're using him this weekend. And Tony swings and slashes a ball at a gap. That's going to be at least 3. Garcia gets on it, but Lepore is going to cruise in. You see he runs really good. Lead-off triple. Now, I would think the way Herdecki's pounding the ball that you would go ahead and encourage Nate Mercado to try to go for a hit here. Again, Scotty's been driving and elevating the ball the whole weekend, so. And Nate swings and he hits a hard ground ball up the middle. Tie game at 4, and he's just going to keep running. And he's going to walk into second. Now the ball gets away, and he's dancing. Now he's going to go to third, and he's going to make it. And the ball gets away there, and he faked like he was going to try to go home there. So little ground ball up the middle. Nate kind of stutter-stepped and then kept going. Ball got away, rattled around off the fence. And here comes Herdecki. So we're tied at 4, and we're in the same spot. Nobody out and a man on third. And Scotty going to go for a hit here. And he just hard cuts a ball into left field. 5-4 March as they take a lead. 2 in, nobody out still, runner at first. And again, they're playing Scotty so deep he can cut and push. He got a high pitch and he just kind of hammered it. And again, Solario was playing, see, they got Chris Miller. Thunder trying to cheat a little bit. They're playing their short center really close to the bag. And Alex Smith leans on it. Long, high fly ball. Garcia on the edge of the warning track makes the catch. Scotty thought about going to third, but he'll shut it down. So Alex Smith leaned on a ball again. This is a big park, folks. And now they got, with 1 out, a runner on first. 5-4. March has reclaimed the lead. Here's Billy Smith. So we've had basically 4 lead changes in this ball game already. 1 out runner on second. So I was saying they're behind Sean Keneally. They've been kind of playing their short center up the middle, and that's been leaving a lot of big holes in the infield. And Billy hits a rocket, and it's going to carry to Storino, makes the basket catch. I don't like that play. Storino tried to throw it behind Herdecki, who's about 2 feet from the base. And Chris Miller was moving to second, had to kind of stop and reach down. So Bobby Durst was laughing. That's the kind of stuff that gets you in trouble. And here's Manzella now with 2 outs and a runner on second. And Mike slashes the ball, and it skips past Durst. Herdecki's going to score, and Manzella is going to run to second. 6-4 March as they play 2 in this inning. And again, you can see Bobby's an older guy. It looked like he was going to make the play, but it hit the dirt and kind of skipped. And it's awful hard when you're in your 50s and you got to bend and reach after playing all day. So here's Israel Sanchez. Again, another duck on the pond at second base, 6-4 March. And again, Thunder had 2-3-4 coming up, and they didn't do anything in the top half. So after you take the lead like that and you get a goose egg, you want to extend out, and they didn't. And there's a little punch ball, fair ball by Israel. And he's going to jog in, and I don't know what happened there. Called him safe. As Israel looked like he was going to slide late, and then he changed his mind. Says he's okay. Another run in. I think it's 7-4 now, if my math is right, but we'll confirm that at the end of the half inning. As March's top has been fantastic all day, and they come through here, and they've pushed at least 3 across, more likely 4. And Danny Villarreal gets past Storino. Meanwhile, Israel face planted, rounding third, and Danny Villarreal is going to cruise in. He had a little sinking line drive. Storino didn't quite commit all the way, tried to pull up, and the ball hit the carpet through his legs. And Danny Villarreal touched them all. So I believe it might be 9-4 now. We told you March seems to have one inning where they hit as a group. And this is like a 6-run inning, and they've been doing this all day. That's why we said when you're playing them in this tournament today, you got to hit with them. And you can't really afford to have any goose eggs. So here's Anthony Avila. And he's going to hit a ground ball up the middle. So I don't think I caught it on tape, but as Israel rounded third after the awkward slide, he face planted. So Israel had an adventuresome trip on the bases. And the March fan base making a little noise. And here's Ryan Russ. The Hammer, as they call him. Again, we're in Desert Breeze in Las Vegas live. And Ryan Russ cuts a ball, and that'll fall in front of Storino. So we've seen this from March. It seems like once they score a couple of runs, they all just jump on the train. And it's going to bring up Jeff Hernandez. So some of the March girls over there, Morgan and the rest of them, they all know I got a crush on Morgan. I've already told Richie Battistoni I might break that up. So they're having a good time. 2 outs, Jeff Hernandez up now with Tony Lepore, who started this inning, on deck. So March has spun the lineup yet again today. And Jeff Hernandez hits a ball up the middle. Another run scores. Jeff Hernandez stroked a hit. Talking to Jibbs, he's having a good day too. I think he's about 10 or 11 for 12 or 13, as he's been hitting the ball right where he wants to. And here's Tony Lepore, who started this inning.
Go.
So this is the 12th hitter of the inning. And Tony hits a rocket right at Solario. I think that was self-defense of his future family there. It was right in a delicate spot, but he made the catch. So a 7th spot for March. Believe it or not, that's not their biggest inning of the tournament. And March jumps up 10-4 here, as we're going to head to the top of the 4th inning here. So again, we talk about you got to maintain contact. And again, there were no real errors in that inning. There was one wild throw, but that's a lot of just good hitting there. So again, now you see March, they're starting to get a little loose here as they've pushed out here 10-4. A 7th spot in the bottom of the 3rd. So we head to the top of the 4th. Bobby Durst leading off. He'll be followed by Chris Miller and then Jason Rojas. So again, you don't got to get all of them back. You're down by 6. But you got to hit and let March know you're going to play softball with him. So Bobby Durst's going to try to get something going here. And so again, we've seen this all weekend. So when you play a team like March, and again, you know, for some of you teams out there, when you're playing a good hitting team, it doesn't matter what the other guy gets. You know that March was going to get to between 10 and, 15 probably in the ball game. And so your job is to know that you got to get to 10 to 15. So if you know that they're going to score, it shouldn't make a difference to you whether they get it in the 1st, the 5th, the 4th, because you know you got a job to do, and you know you're not going to win a game against a really good hitting team 3-2. So we see a lot of teams just kind of go into a shell a little bit. And if you're this Thunder team, you've been grinding all day, you're still going to have 4 more at-bats. And as long as you keep putting runs up, you're going to be okay. And Bobby Durst back to Jeff Hernandez. And again, it's tough because, like I said, March is going to play defense, but you still got to go out there and swing the bats. And nobody's really slowed this March team down. So that ball just nipped the plate. It did land on the mat, but if it touches any part of the plate, it's a ball. That ball hit the plate. Of course, Chris Miller, good hitter, good eye, not afraid to hit with 2 strikes. So he will take pitches. And there he stepped up and just pounded the ball past Jeff Hernandez for a base hit. See, he just stepped up there and looked at that big hole and just pounded it through. And here's Jason Rojas. Jason been having a pretty good weekend from what I've seen. So we're live from Las Vegas, Desert Breeze Park. Jason takes the ball there a little deep. With Brad Moriarty on deck, 1 out, runner on first here in a 10-4 ball game. And Jason pounds the ball. Little fumble, you'll never get Rojas at first. So Tony Lepore got a great jump on that. I believe he started on the third base side of the bag, ranged far to his left, but he couldn't hold on as the ball was spinning in that big glove of his. So one out here, Brad Moriarty, first and second. See my sister watching the game. I hope you guys had fun in New Orleans. I think the weather was a little nicer out here in Vegas than what you guys had in New Orleans. And Brad takes a pitch there for a ball. So Thunder, and Brad swings and hits it right at Lepore, a little backhand flip. And now they try to throw behind Miller, but he's not buying it. So a nice little backhand flip there by Lepore, as again he ranged far to his left. Nate knew he wasn't going to be able to throw to first, so he tried to catch Chris Miller, maybe taking a turn. So first and second now with 2 outs. Robbie Siganowski drilled a base hit his last time up, and now they're playing him on the left side, and Danny Villarreal has moved a little bit closer to first base as they were playing him to hit the other way, and he just pooches the ball, but right there is Ryan Russ, who read it all the way. So Thunder threatens, doesn't score, and we're going to head to the bottom of the fourth, 10-4 March. You see the softball in my shadow there. I'm not really that fat, folks, but the lights add 10 pounds. So we head to the bottom of the fourth in a 10-4 ball game.
I'm too lazy to pick it up.
And March is back at the top of their lineup. And again, when you got this many good hitters and you keep turning your lineup over and you get back to that top as much as March has been doing all weekend, runs are going to follow that. Although they've been starting innings up and down their lineup the whole tournament. So here comes Nate Mercado, top of the 45 lineup, Hordecki, and then Alex Smith. And these guys have been scoring runs all day when they've been coming up, leading off innings.
Someone's got to do it.
See, Rich Hennessy's entered the game here at first for Brad Moriarty. As looks like Brad had got a little hamstring problem. So he came out of the game. He's kind of limping there in the dugout. So we're here live. Desert Breeze Park in Las Vegas, Nevada. Stream sponsored by Ray Zarnick and Napleton Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram at River Oaks. If you need a car, go see Ray. He can get you something other than a Chrysler Dodge Jeep or Ram. As the Napleton Auto Group got a lot of stores. There's a little fly ball caught by Solario as he was backpedaling onto the carpet. And that brings up Scott Hordecki. Scotty and Alex have been devastating back-to-back. And now he just guides the ball, but Durst gets the good hop, and they nip Hordecki at first. So 2 outs. If you're Thunder, you'd like to get out of here, maybe kind of get your head straight and get over that 7-run inning. And tell you, I was a little nervous with that swing. Me and Fritz were ducking for cover there. So Alex had been driving the ball, tried to pooch the right field line there, and you really saw his barrel dip. Talk about it all the time. It dipped, and that ball would have had no shot at being fair. And now he swings, and he beats it on the ground to Stacy. Long throw, in time. So Thunder got what they needed there. They got an egg. And again, they're down 6. And as we like to say, it's getting late. So, top of the 5th. See the Thunder guys stealing my line there. And Sean Keneally is going to lead off. He'll be followed by the top of the lineup with Nico Garcia, Zach Solario. Anybody gets on, it's Torino Stacy. So again, Thunder threatened last inning, couldn't score. Again, like to throw a shout out to Ronnie Matrisciano for all his hard work that he puts in every year. 5th year we've had this event. Pat Caputo got to play a little while ago with the Big Red Machine. It was always good to see Patty back on the bump. So we've been having fun with all the teams. And Keneally swings, ground ball to Mercado, long throw in time. Again, Nate knew that Sean, an older player, was running. He was way back by the turf of the outfield, just took his time and threw it over. So here's Nico Garcia. Joe, I got to correct you. This is the March softball, not the 45s. And Nico Garcia stays hot. He slashes a single to the outfield. And you can see Nico starting to cramp up a little bit, it looks like, as he's been kind of hobbling around for a couple innings. And here's going to come Zach Solario, the shortstop. So again, you got your top up here. You need to string some hits together and cut into the 6-run lead. March's top actually went dry last inning, which you don't see much, so you got to take advantage of that. And there's a line drive, but right at Alex Smith for the second out of the inning. And here comes Torino. So it was a pretty good ball. He just hit it right at the center fielder for the second out here. You see Teddy Sherman checking out the broadcast. How are you, Ted? And Storino stays hot. He hammers a humpback. Nico Garcia is going to try to score, and Nate will hold on to it. And now we got a 5 and dime, 10-5. And here comes Stacy. So again, that's all you can do if you're Thunder. You got to pick up some runs. Big 2-out hit there. I'd like to string a couple of more 2-out hits together. And Stacy pounds it and it hits the rubber, goes right to Lepore. So that's just bad luck. Usually when that ball hits the rubber, it does something crazy. But in the inning, March gets a run. And we'll head to the bottom of the 5th. Sorry about the camera, folks. We got ourselves a 10-5 ball game.
Hey, it's only a 4-run game. Let's go.
I think Chris Miller thought it was a 10-6 game, but if I'm not mistaken, they only got one that inning, 10-5. So here comes Billy Smith leading off, be followed by Mike Manzella and Danny Villaria. Again, you look at this March lineup, they don't really have any holes in it. I know a lot of people might think Gibbs is not a hitter, but he's been on fire this weekend. So go ahead, and if you're Thunder, you're just looking to try to get another egg.
Billy.
2-0 here. Billy Smith off of Keneally. Solario. Nice play. Told you I like this kid Solario. That ball banged off the pitcher, and he came in there, whistled it over to first for the first out.
It was all good. Relax. There's a hole in that glove you got there.
Here comes Manzella, Fritz and Richie Hennessy having a good time with each other here. I think that was self-defense, Richie.
He fired that one. It was up close and personal, that one. My goodness, it was Nolan Ryan.
They were Mark Grace with Sean Dunston. Of course, Richie, older, he remembers those days. So here's Mike Manzella with one out. And Mike just scalds one, but right at Bobby Durst for the second out. And here comes Israel Sanchez. So the Thunder guys are saying, can we get this Israel out one time today? I'll tell you a Mudville story after Israel swings. So Izzy Sanchez trying to get on for Villarreal, who's been swinging well as well. And there's a ground ball right to Durst. And they get Israel 1, 2, 3 here. So back-to-back eggs here. If you're Thunder, you just got to keep grinding away and putting stuff up. So getting to my Mudville story, in 02, our first year, 10-5. We are down in Bourbon A. We make it to the Winners Bracket Championship against a very good Storm team out of Indiana. And they had a kid playing right field who had played with the Twins. His name escapes me. But we play him in the Winners Bracket Championship game, and this kid just tears us up. So we work our way back through the losers bracket, and we're playing in the first game, and we beat him up pretty good to force the if game. Meanwhile, the same kid in right field just tearing us up. I think it was another 3 for 3 or whatever. So then we get to the championship game, the if game. It's a really close ball game. And so here's Bobby Durst leading off, to be continued. There's a ball. And we get to a crucial part of the game. We're clinging to a 3-2 lead late. And I believe the Storm had the hammer in that if game. Durst takes a pitch for a strike. And we get to a big spot. And we can't walk the kid because I think the bases might have been loaded. And Charlie Brown is pitching, and he looks over at the dugout. And he says, what do you want me to do with this guy? Now, he's just been killing Chuck for the better part of 3 games. And C.J. Rokish, who helped put that team together, he was behind the dugout. He couldn't watch. And John Doss, who's now at Forest Park, ended up winning the batting title and the MVP that year, we took him out and put Opie in at second. And so we're like, John Doss is on the bench, and he yells out at Charlie, just get the effing guy out. And the kid looks over at the bench, kind of shocked by the comment, and ended up flying out. We held on to win the Class A National Championship. And there's a ground ball right to Jeff Hernandez, and he'll put that away for the first out of the inning. And here's Chris Miller. So sometimes that happens. A guy just kills you. And that's what the Thunder guys were saying. Get this guy out one time today. And Israel hit that ground ball. think JD might have said a few more comments, but this is a family-rated show. Again, we got a 10-5 ball game here in the top of the 6th. So again, and there's a one-out walk to Chris Miller. So again, you don't have to get them all if you're Thunder, but you don't want to go into the 7th maybe down by 5. You want to do some work here and score a couple at least to tighten up the ball game, as March, the last 2 innings, has gone dry. And there's now home plate jumping around on Gibbs. Grabs a strike there. Brad Moriarty has been replaced by Hennessy. Ground ball, this could be 2, and Jason's not even running, as he's really aggravated. Looked like he was trying to hit the hole on the right side, rolled over his top hand and beat it into the ground. So we're going to go bottom of the 6th, 10-5, March. Of course, 5 runs here by March would end the game. And if they don't get the fin, then we're looking at them needing 3 defensive outs to three-peat out here. I got 10-5. So unless they scored 2 in the 1 inning. Whoa! So one of the Thunder guys almost clipped one of their coaches. I'm going to go confirm the score here. Frank, 10-5 or 10-6?
10-5.
All right. Okay, my math skills haven't completely left me. 10-5. So Chris Miller, a little mistaken on the score, but he keeps repeating it. Could be a ploy just to keep his Thunder guys active. So here's Danny Villarreal. Anthony Avila on deck. And again, the story of the game so far is March had another monster inning when they scored 7, and that ball's going to drop. Villarreal, big turn, but it'll come back as they played at 7 in the 3rd. And they've done that pretty much all day. They just seem to have 1 inning where they just all free swing. So here's Anthony Avila, leadoff man on. And again, they've been starting innings from all over their lineup, but their top's been exceptionally good. And there's a long fly ball foul. So again, if you're Thunder, 10 has been one of the lower scores that we've seen March this late in the game. So heading into the ball game, you had to know that they were probably going to get to double digits. The problem here is Thunder's had a few base runners. They've had a couple of double plays, and they haven't been able to have an inning themselves. And there's a base hit. Right fielder Jason Rojas came in. Was trying to get the force out from short right. Ball got away, but good job by Stacy backing it up. And you saw Sean Keneally was heading to 3rd to make sure they had coverage. So we're pushing on 9 o'clock here in Vegas. We appreciate everybody, especially in Chicago and the West Coast. And there's a ground ball, and Richie Hennessy can't tag him. That's a little bit of a mistake by Richie there. He should have went right to the bag. He would have had an easy flip to second. They would have had Villarreal, or the base runner, Villarreal. They would have had him easy pitch and catch after that. So Richie Battistoni pinch hitting here for Jeff Hernandez. Of course, Jeff's pitched every inning here, and he's been getting a lot of base hits and people trying to throw him out at first. So Gibbs had a long day and trying to save a little wear and tear here. So 1 out, first and third. Here's Richie Battistoni in the winner's bracket championship game late in that ball game. He crushed the ball to right center. And there's a little topper. Stacy to second, Miller to first. Not in time. Meanwhile, the 11th run scores. 11-5 ball game. And here comes Anthony Sanchez hitting for Tony Lepore. So there's Richie Battistoni. Good hustle. It's a nice play there by Stacy to get the ball over to Chris Miller. The ball just wasn't hit hard enough for the twist. And I like Anthony. He's got a good motor. Kid in the box. And he got that beautiful swing. He can turn and burn. Had a nice conversation with him today during the weekend. And here comes the top. 11-5 now, first and second. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th. 11-5. And with Scotty Herdecki coming up here on deck, and Alex Smith. And there's a line drive base hit by Nate Mercado, 12-5. And now you got a bad throw. Nate's going to stay. Now they try to throw behind. And now we got all kinds of stuff going on. As Anthony said, there's got to be a speed bump over there. We've seen a couple of March guys stumbling and bumbling around third. So 12-5 ball game. Home run here would end the ball game at 15-5. And he's got a couple today. Last couple of times up, he's just been going short. He may try to end it here. But with Alex Smith on deck, if you're Scotty, if you just throw a double out there, Alex may end the game. If they would pitch to him, but... And he hits a rocket toward the gap. That's going to get down. 2 runs are going to score, 14-5, and Scotty Herdecki, another extra base hit. Just absolutely having a... tell you, he's been something. And I had the pleasure of coaching him when I was managing Flashback. Great teammate. So I cannot believe that they will pitch to Alex Smith, and they won't. It's going to bring up his brother, Billy Smith, chance to end the ball game here in the bottom of the 6th. So we're going to show you a little post-game stuff. You'll see him hand out the hardware, and we'll see who the MVP is. You know, the first year we had trophies. Now we got plaques because you can put them in your suitcase. Wouldn't surprise me, Marty, but I tell you, it's going to be a hard call for March to pick an MVP because they got so many guys playing well today. And there's a hard ground ball, little pitch. So Thunder avoids the slaughter rule, but they find themselves down 9 as we got a 14-5 ball game.
Come on, boys. We're not out of this. Let's go. Let's go.
Got next, boys.
So 14-5 as we head to the top of the 7th. 2 re-entries for March. And what we're looking at right now is you're chasing outs. If you're March, you don't have to do anything nutty. Just make the routine play, count them down, and get out of Dodge as a champion. If you're Thunder, there's no thinking here. It's your best ball, and you're just trying to get on base. So leading off is going to be Richie Hennessy, his first at-bat of the game. He came in for Brad Moriarty, strained a hamstring. Been a very quiet tournament. The umpiring have been rock solid. Talking with some of the Vegas umps, we talked about the fact that the way we judge it is if it's a quiet tournament. If you're hearing arguments on every diamond, then you know your umps are struggling a little bit. But it's been a little quiet. Of course, the teams have been great as well. They know that we're using guys that don't really do a lot of 16-inch, but Ronnie Matrish, as is his Juan, had an umpire meeting, I believe, on Thursday, where he was laying things out and we were explaining to them the SSA way. And there's a little chop swing, and Alex Smith comes hustling in and makes the catch, 1 out. It's going to bring up Robbie Siganowski with Sean Keneally on deck. And again, what I think we're seeing a little bit in Thunder is that they got a lot of older guys. They've been playing all day, and it becomes very difficult. March has got a little bit of a younger group, and Siganowski skies one. Danny Villarreal makes the play. So March 1 out away from the three-peat. Sean Keneally coming up, 14-5. So again, Thunder just couldn't swing the bats and hang in there with this March team. 3 in the first, 7 in the third, and 4 in the sixth. Just put him in a great position.
Fix that box, Sean. Come on.
And Sean Keneally slashes a base hit. So Sean Keneally slashes a hit here, keeping the dream alive, if you will. But they got a lot of work. You can see that batter's box a little tough, although it didn't seem to affect March much. So Sean Keneally says, I made it worser. I'm not exactly sure if that's a word. I have to check with Merriam-Webster. And here's Nico Garcia. And he pounds the ball right at Billy Smith, and March three-peats. March three-peats, as we like to say, winning never gets old. March was all business today. They were not really challenged in this event. And we'll find out who the MVP is. You see the March crowd celebrating. You owe me an apology. I didn't jinx you guys. So there's my girl Morgan. So we'll have some pictures. We'll name the MVP. And if you're Thunder, just a great effort. They came through the loser's bracket, beat a tough syndicate team in the bottom of the 7th to get here.
For their 7th game today.
7 games Thunder played. How about that? Of course, Thunder, second time they finished second. Can we get you guys at home? So we're going to take some pictures.
Could I have the Thunder team assemble at home plate?
Picture at home before or after you prepare to play.
Hold on. What's up? Hold on. Hey.
Oh. So you see they're all looking at the batter's box.
How can you go over there? How can you go sing happy birthday? Oh.
He's like, I'm the body. I'm like, oh, okay.
Oh, that was a tough reach. Go ahead, get your fans in there if you want.
It's upside down. I know. Oh, man, that old jerker. What a dick. What a dick.
Congratulations, guys.
So you can see. So I clicked off there to take a couple of pictures, folks. We're resuming the broadcast. As you see, the holding the second place and a nice picture. And of course, Tommy Storino was a sponsor of the tournament, so he wants his take another picture with his banner.
We appreciate our sponsors, guys.
Says I'm in the photo. I said we want to be in the photo.
Pat Caputo.
How you doing, Doug?
There you go.
Thank you, Ronnie.
No,
Ronnie,
no.
thank you. Great job.
We usually take a board picture afterwards. So you see the Thunder guys always gracious, win or lose. They had a great weekend. They played 7 games today. And now we're going to have the 3-time champs, March, coming to home plate. And we're going to eventually find out who the MVP is.
We have the March team assembled at home plate. Congratulations on winning the 2019 5th annual SSA of Las Vegas Big Ball Tournament. Congratulations to March champions 2019.
Hey, can we get some guys on the other side?
Hey, somebody can go to the left.
So I'm going to go ahead and take a picture, folks. I'll be right back with the broadcast. So now they're putting the 3-peat up.
All right, we got it.
Who said that?
Super time.
It's not a banger song. It's just a number.
So it's the 3-peat. So March 3-peats. And now we're going to find out who the 2019 Big Ball Tournament MVP is. And they got a lot of candidates, folks.
And now I'd like to present the Most Valuable Player Award. And this year we have co-MVP.
Co-MVPs.
I'd like to present the Most Valuable Player to Nate Mercado and Jeff Hernandez.
So Jeff Hernandez and Nate Mercado, co-MVPs.
Come up and get your award, please. Nate.
Wait. We got to go stand over there.
Can you come by home plate? I think Nate maybe feels that somebody else over by home plate, huh, guys? So Jeff having some fun. So we're going to click away, folks, and we'll be right back. You'll see him here by home plate. So we'll be right back. And we'll try to get a couple of words. And I don't know what Ronnie's doing. Real quick, guys. So co-MVPs. Hold on. Let me change this. I'm way too big here. Okay, co-MVPs. Nate, you almost looked embarrassed, like you didn't think you deserved it.
He played awesome, pitched awesome, hit awesome.
Once again, congratulations.
He deserved it.
to
Back to
Thunder.
back right there.
Great tournament.
There you go, Jibs. How you feeling, man? You did more running on the bases than I've seen in a long time, man. You were hustling.
Them doubles kill me. No, it was good. It was fun. Thanks for the SSA and Ronnie doing this. A great job. We had a bunch of guys who played really well.
Yeah,
You know,
definitely
we
a good
did.
time.
Yeah.
Well, I was talking on the broadcast. I mean, you guys had, like, everybody in your lineup almost could have been in consideration. I mean, you had Alex, Scotty, giving Anthony Avila some. See the picture there. Jibs was having a little fun there. Put the trophy up.
Send that to us.
So you guys were all business. Seemed like every game you guys had one monster inning that just blew it open.
Yeah, we did. Well, with our lineup, I mean, we pretty much go 1 through 12.
Yeah.
We can strike at any time with this team, and everybody, like I said, everybody played well, free swinging.
Everyone contributed.
Yeah,
So
stay out of
it was
losers
nice
bracket. Stay out of losers bracket this year.
Oh yeah.
So it makes things a lot easier. Now we could go lose our money.
Oh,
And
come
by the
on.
way-
Nobody loses in
And
Vegas.
he owes me a Vegas
I
bond.
gotta get him a Vegas bond
He
in
owes me a
Vegas.
Vegas bond.
One.
Couple.
Well,
We'll
just
take a
start.
few.
Just start.
There you go. 2 happy campers.
Yes.
And Jibs is right. They stayed out of losers bracket, which always makes it a little easier.
Yeah, thank you.
And now we'll try to get Ronnie Matrisciano and get his thoughts on the weekend. And again, it was
Whoever wants to come out here.
it was a great weekend. So Ronnie, we got through another one, man.
Got through another one. We pulled it off again, and congratulations to March on the 3-peat, and congratulations to Thunder. They played 7 games today, and
came up through the losers bracket and they represented themselves well.
Well, tournament was really smooth the entire weekend here. The meet and greet was fantastic, and I thought the umpires did a terrific job. Very quiet tournament.
Yeah, we got through it with pretty much without a hitch. The weather was great. The food was great. The umpires did a good job, and you can't ask for more in a tournament. Everything went pretty smooth. It was a nice day.
Well, I know every year, I didn't make it out last year, but every year when me and Pat comes, you're always nervous. You're always like, man, I got to get through the weekend. But once you get out here, it seems like you're having a lot of fun with all of the guys and everything that goes on.
Yeah, I do. I do worry. As you're getting the preparation. I want everybody to have a good time, and I want the tournament to go off well. And you have those I guess butterflies before the tournament starts. But once the tournament starts, it kind of takes care of itself. And we had a great day today. I'm very thankful to all the sponsors, Cinespace Studios back home in Chicago, Alex Picios. I want to thank him, all the guys back home in Chicago that support me. Without guys like yourself and Pat Caputo and the guys from the SSA, we wouldn't be able to do this out here in Vegas. So I'm very grateful and thankful. I think the guys appreciate it. I think everybody has a good time, and I wish everybody safe travels back home.
Okay, now get to start on next year's tournament. So there you go, folks. Ron Matrisciano. Tremendous job once again. Again, this is SSA broadcast live from Desert Breeze. And you can see Ronnie taking some pictures here. And always a good, fun time. Hold on. There we go.
Winner, chicken dinner.
Take that picture. How do you like that? I'm coming, Richie.
Watch out, Richie.
We're always having fun here with the SSA. I know you don't want to look at that face. That's a face made for radio. So another good weekend, SSA. And here's Pat Caputo. I'm going to get some. Hey, Pat, give me a quick second.
Hey.
So you helped out. You worked like a dog. You got to play. What'd you think about the tournament this weekend?
The event was phenomenal. Ronnie does a great job. Everything's organized. Everything's ready to go. Games were on time. Couldn't ask for anything better. Great job.
Nice. And I know you were with Frank Arenas and the Big Red Machine. He's got a good group there. Did you enjoy that?
I had a ball. You know what? Just to go out there and bring back memories of pitching again. And I pitched a couple innings, and I had a great time.
There you go. Pat Caputo works and relentless. Oh, Foz, you're bumping into me there. That's all right. That's the worst thing that happens to me. There you go. Caputo.
We know the Quinlans. We grew up with the Quinlans.
They want to go to Amori's, but they close at 45 minutes. Can you?
I'll call Joe, but I don't.
So there you go. They want to go. We ate at Amori's, good friend of them. So we're going to wrap it up. Again, March softball, three-peats, beating Thunder, who played 7 games today. Co-MVPs Jeff Hernandez and Nate Mercado. Of course, they had a lot of potential candidates. And March was never really challenged as they just pounded the ball all day. They played defense all day. And I know they're going to go have a good time now. They were very focused, and their guys were ready to play all day. They played sterling defense. So for the SSA, Napleton Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram out at River Oaks, and SSA broadcast, my partner back home, George Bliss, thank you very much for doing the Forest Park event and getting folks out here in Vegas. They were all talking about it, and they were looking at it. Love to see that event next year in person, depending on the weekend they choose. And so for SSA broadcast, we've had a long day. It was a fun day. and it was fun to be in Vegas anytime. So live from Desert Breeze, this is Gio signing off, folks. We will see you soon. We got showcase softball shows coming up. I want to say November, whatever that Sunday is, November 3rd or 4th. And then we'll go 3 weeks after that at the end of November, the week of Thanksgiving. And then we'll be over in December. So we're going to squeeze out 3 shows for you. And it should be a lot of fun. So stay tuned, like our page, or follow us on Twitter, and you'll be able to get all the details. So live, signing off in Las Vegas, Nevada, this is Gio. See you soon.